Hi guys, my name is Charles Badenhorst, and I'm here to talk to you about animation a bit today. I've been in the animation industry in South Africa for almost 20 years now. When we think about animation, we think about all the stuff we see on TV, right? On Netflix and Amazon and and on the big screen, and all those movies are those high-end 3D, three-dimensional generated animation movies where they create computer-generated puppets on a computer, and then they model it and then they shade it and then they move it and they make a whole movie. And you know, that's the high-end way to do things. Those movies costs millions of dollars and sometimes takes years to produce. Animation is not a new art form. Animation is very old. It's almost as old as film cameras are old. And some of the earliest animated movies was made at the beginning of the last century. As soon as they realized that they could, or they wouldn't have to roll the cameras, but they could stop the cameras on each frame and take a photo. And if you move your character a certain amount of distance each frame, our minds, because of persistence of vision, create the illusion of movement. Animation, you don't need to draw well to do animation, because there are so many different types of animation you can get into. If you can draw well, that's amazing. And there are apps like Flip a Clip on the App Store, and where you can draw your animation frame by frame. And here's a little tip: the smaller you move your characters every frame, the smoother your animation will be. And we do this at 12 frames per second if we do it by hand or at home. The guys that do high-end animation or computer-generated animation go to 24 frames, but when we do hand movement, we do 12 frames per second. Then you also get puppet animation, where you can sculpt your little puppets. I've got an example here of a puppet that I used for one of my films. You can see he keeps his articulation, or his position, his pose. You screw him onto the table with screws, and his skeleton is metal. We call it an armature. Let me show you if you can see that. This armature we bought in England, but you can import it. It's not that expensive. Or you can try and get a MobiBot. It's a little plastic puppet that also keeps its articulation and pose for not too much. I think that was like $10. And then you can get started, or you can cut out paper and move it frame by frame. There's a nice app on the App Store called Stop Motion Studio, and it also allows you to take photos frame by frame and then play it back as a little video. Again, if you want your movement to be smooth, move it in small increments. And that's one of the cool things that animation teach us, is patience and planning ahead. Animation is fun for everybody. It's a fun, creative way to spend your time. There's a healthy, emerging industry in South Africa that caters to people with animation skills. Getting into animation, you can start now. You can go download that app and use your phone to make little movies, or you can do a flip book. It's where you take paper and you draw something like we used to do in our textbooks at school. You can make your own you can use an old book that nobody uses anymore, and you can make little drawings in the corner and practice your animation in that way also. Good luck, and you can always scream in my direction if you need a little bit of advice. Thanks, and enjoy it.